What's the fastest you've gone from meeting someone to having sex with them? Less than an hour. Asked for a cigarette. Went to her place after the bar closed. My current girlfriend. I was a bartender in San Diego. My friend, Holly, brought her in for a drink as well. Made her an old fashioned, loved it. Holly invited us over the next day, where she was dog sitting. Long story short, saw her there. My friend's mom's friend came home, we ran to my car as quickly as possible, ditching my friend there. Went to her house, got drunk, had sex. 10 months later, been living together for 9 months and it's the happiest I've ever been with someone. Don't stop believing. I'd say about 45 minutes. Saw her standing against the wall by herself at the club. I went over and wrapped my arms around her and asked what was wrong. She told me she lost her phone. We danced and made out for about 30 minutes. I took her to my hotel that was attached to the club. Less than an hour. The girl was at my house for a party and she came at me hard. I had actually gone to bed and she just hopped in and said "F me." Was walking home drunk. She was walking in front of me. Didn't know her. We were in the same halls, student flats, and going up some steep stone stairs when her heel broke and she fell backwards. I caught her in a sort of superhero catch, including being face to face, and she said "You saved me." Then we kissed and went up to hers. Then at 3 AM I woke up and she was crying down the phone to her boyfriend. Also her name was Arian, which is basically a lazy version of the name Adrian. About 9 hours. Met this girl at an hostel we were staying at. Went to a pub crawl / club with her. We hooked up, went back to the hostel together before dawn. A completely non-online meeting. Was a woman at a party that I got within 4 hours. Fastest from Tinder was like 2 minutes. Almost a year. Meeting them, meaning actually seeing them in person, about 3 hours. We had a pretty long relationship online, via phone and Skype, for a while though. My now fiance and I, on my couch on a second date, not even halfway into the movie. Neither of us had done anything like that before, and hey, maybe it was love at first boner. Around 20 minutes. She literally fell into my arms. At a ska show back in the day, she got wrecked by somebody in the pit and flew right at me, and I caught her, barely. Wasn't exactly heroic, but better than a faceplant I guess. Some smiling and laughing happened, and she kissed me, and we moved to the back wall to make out. It was super hot, both literally and figuratively, so she dragged me by the hand out to her car, and we had a halfway decent backseat bang session, fogged the windows up good. We kissed and smoked cigarettes on the roof, and waited for the show to end. When our friends came out, I jumped down, and we both spoke the first and last words we'd ever say to each other. Bye. I never got her name, and it was before cell phones were a thing. My friend was all pissed off that I left and missed the show, but I was like, man, f the Aquabats. About an hour. Met on OkCupid. She asked me to come over and keep her company, ended up getting drunk and couldn't hold a boner and cried when she said no more. Met a girl at a campfire beach party I came across with a couple buddies. Talked to her for 2 minutes, buddies decide to leave, and I ask her to come with me. She says yeah, why not, and the two of us go back to my place, which is 5 minutes away. We were naked and going at it almost immediately. She was German, here for a week, and was going back the next day. Said she didn't want to leave without f***ing a Canadian, so I helped her out with that. About 3 hours. Was also my first ever threesome. I was doing a guest DJ slot at our local student rock club. My then girlfriend showed up at the booth at the end of my set with another girl in tow and said, "This is Kylan. She's up for coming home with us tonight. You interested?" I have no idea what conversation they already had that ended up with that as the outcome, but I certainly wasn't going to say no. So quite a few drinks and a couple of hours later we all ended up in bed together back at my place. One of the weirder things that's ever happened to me, to be honest. This makes it sound way cooler than it was. I'm not by any means a professional DJ. It was basically queuing up MP3s to keep a room containing maybe 50 drunk students dancing. I think nearly everyone in there had a go in the DJ booth at some point. Like 20 minutes, but I guess we had been talking for a couple weeks before that. I'm almost certain it's my wife. Met online, went on a few dates over 2 to 3 weeks. Then she had a party at her place and I stayed the night. However, I had an ex that I met at work and I think the time frame was very close. 3 hours in high school. My friend invited me to hang out with her and her friend a senior. I was a sophomore. 3 hours later my friend had left and I was uncomfortably but still happily going at it with the senior. I didn't know how to feel about it though as I was 15 and she was 18. I was super scared for a while. 17 years. Less than a minute. I mean orgies count, right? This sort of thing tends to happen at swinger parties. If you want quick swinger parties are the way to go, especially if they are underground. Still haven't met some of the people. About 20 minutes. Online dating moves fast. I was rolling down my window to light a cig and the cute girl beside me rolled down hers at the same time. I told her that she was cuter and got her number. She met at my place 2 days later to smoke and go put to eat. The second after she took a hit, she looked at me and asked if I want to f*** her. About 10 minutes, but that's what I paid her for. 3 hours. Went to party with a friend, met a girl, ended up getting kicked out because we were banging on the homeowner's bed. Matched with a girl on Tinder, spoke for about an hour then went to her place. The movie Keanu was playing, so I thought it was pretty romantic to tell her to jump on top of me, so pretty much within 10 minutes we were having a good time. I think it's a tie for 2 guys I've hooked up with. The first was like a week after I'd been dumped by my first boyfriend. I'd turned 18, was horny and lonely, so I ended up going out with an older friend to karaoke bar. Bars around here are 18 plus. She'd prepped her guys about the fact I was likely to flirt a lot / once. Went back to her place and screwed on her futon. He was a terrible lay. The other was this guy I ended up spending hours arguing with at a local nerd hole. He walked me home and we ended up screwing each other's brains out pretty thoroughly, which turned into a much longer bigger mess, but that's neither here nor there. XD. Probably an hour or so. Met a girl on Tinder, decided to get lunch and hang out after. Started making out. After we got back to my place after lunch, she said guess you're skipping your 1:30 class cause you are gonna f*** me right now. And so it was. Noted that something like that will most likely not happen again, but it's a fun story lol. 5 hours from clapping eyes on him at the restaurant to inviting him upstairs for a back rub.